How's it going? Okay, cool. Not a problem. Love you, Tilt. Take care. You always. All right. Oh, and yeah, like I said, whenever you're ready to have her meld the liner to have the box melt in it. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Take care. Yeah. Bye. That was simple. What is Alex always saying? Oh, that's easy. And the way people's faces drop when he says that, you mean it's easy. Oh man, okay, well let's take him off of there so that I don't not accidentally butt dialing him when this thing does what it does. That's cool. Okay. This is, like I said, it's easy for me. That's the whole thing, man. It's easy for me. Doesn't mean it's easy. But I mean, when I say it's easy, it was like something to tell the Linux folks. It's like, hey, I got old people. I'm trying to get them to use your operating system, but something else is going on there, though. I don't know what was going on. I think the keyboard was failing on his laptop. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, it was an easy fix. All right, we're running. Yeah, I know. Oh, Dalmatian. Mini Dalmatian. That's weird. A toy Dalmatian, like a Chihuahua? What is that? A Dal Chow? Chimation? What do you call a Chihuahua Dalmatian hybrid mix? A Dalchi. That might work. A Dalchi. Wow. I'm just laughing that Cortez got their street fully repaired before we did. Why is everybody driving slow? Believe me, I'm happy. When I say driving slow, they're like these. This is the sensible speed you're supposed to be driving down a residential neighborhood. I think it just has to do with the time of day. Here it is, 1600. That's another thing I never considered. Suckers got expired. Months expired, especially. I mean, all right. Maybe he won't be here that long, he thinks. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's what Clay Cooley's plates are gonna look like. Okay. Siempre trabajando. Alright, abuela, it's a stop sign, not a yield sign. Oh, it's black. I said it was blue. Mama Fratelli. I never noticed that this, oh, they got a hazardous step. All the Bolivar needs. I said Bolivar and lace out. You were saying wrong, it's Bolivar. I was like, no, you culturally ignorant motherfucker. It is not Bolivar. It is Bolivar. Revolutionary fighting for Latin American freedom. The best, like I said, the most kind courtesy you can provide him is to pronounce his name correctly. Simón Bolivar. Although I don't think it's named after him. I think the street's named after some commissioner that just happened to have the same last name. I was looking at the history of if the internet's correct. I think they were saying they named Bolivar after a priest. Anyway, maybe I got both things wrong. I just remember there was a Simón Bolivar, named the entire country after him, I thought. And that's where you get Bolivia. I think they even got money named after him. Several squares. Anyway, I know enough to know that's not pronounced Bolivar. It's Bolivar. And I'll keep saying it quote unquote wrong until you learn that until you learn to say it right. And so there's somebody listening in Spanish like, you're both wrong. You're putting your accent in the wrong spot. And I was like, I apologize for that. That's one thing I just can't seem to get in Spanish. Is I cannot stress my accents in the right spots. So like in English, when I say dog, and I kind of stress it on the last part, be like saying dog. You know, a dog. Oh, you mean a dog? I don't know. Like that line in Snatch. You want a dag? Yeah, she's on dag. Dag. He says dag. Oh, you mean a dog? And it was kind of funny to hear the guy, Tommy, say dog in his accent, whereas the piker guy was saying it in his accent. And then the people in America are lost both ways. They're like, what are they talking about? What's a, oh, dog. Someone with like a Midwestern accent would just say dog. They would just say dog. So yeah, the thing was setting off all sorts of red flag. Didn't have a front plate. Window tint is so dark that you can't see that he does have a registration sticker. And then there's the age and condition. Man, I was worried. I thought my uncle was going to take up my whole afternoon. I'd be sitting here talking to him. I was like, I'm going to have to censor out this video. We're having this conversation. And then it was just something mundane. Like I said, hey, he says, I'm typing, nothing's happening. I'm using the mouse, nothing's happening. He was stuck at the grub loader. And the grub loader had the crypt because I encrypted his drive. I encrypt every drive now. It's just the default thing I do. I don't care that it might inconvenience someone. The inconvenience that somebody gets hold of your portable device, pulls the drive, and then they got access to everything. So I know I don't ever want to be at fault, and I never want to get anybody in a compromised position. I encrypt everything. And I put a simple password on there for him. And he was at the grub screen and he kept trying to type, and I guess the keyboard on that laptop was going out. I don't know. All right. All right, all right. Looking good. Looking real good. Up, up. There you go. Smell the evil. Oh, that truck was sitting there for the longest. Oh, they knocked down another house over here. Wow. No, they just got to replace that fender. Looked like somebody was trying to straighten it out and they just made it worse. And I got a bad feeling that they're going to put some Bondo on it. I was like, no, man, just replace the fender. I know you can find an aftermarket fender for that car. You know, the funny thing is, so I'm old enough to remember when you could buy the parts originally from the dealer and you pay that premium and it came from the United States. And then they had this quote unquote, you get the aftermarket stuff that was made in like Japan and China. It was Japan first and then it was like Taiwan and China, and you pay less, and sometimes it wouldn't fit right, and then after a while their quality just got better and better and better to the point where the aftermarket was the same as the dealer. I mean, not the dealer, but the manufacturer. And now I'm telling him aftermarket, and I'm thinking to myself, it's probably all aftermarket now. Like, nothing's made here anymore. Nobody makes parts here. It's going to be made in Mexico. It's going to be made in Vietnam. It's going to be made in China. I don't even think they make them in Japan anymore. What I loved about Honda was when you got their genuine parts, you get a fender from Honda, you get a light from Honda, and the replacement part would sometimes have the bolts on it, and it was like, oh my god, it's like you guys think ahead, like, you know there's a good chance this has been in an accident, and so he's like, look, you're gonna lose the bolts, okay? Something's probably gonna get stripped out, we're gonna give you the bolts. Whereas an American car company, you buy that part and then they were like, oh, you want the bolts too? Well, that's extra, you gotta buy that off the thing. It's $11 a bolt. I was like, what the hell? Or a nut. And then there's the German manufacturers. I'll still never forget about that. Back in the 90s, that was just crazy. It was a headlight for Mercedes. My dad had bought it. He said, how much do you think this headlight costs? And most of the time back in the 90s, you get a headlight from something that's $10, $15. Aftermarket, cheaper than that. The most you were probably going to pay for a part was like 80 bucks. I said, I don't know. I said 100, 150. Because he was making it sound like it was just ungodly expensive. I was like, $150? He says, keep going. I was like, keep going. He said, that headlight cost $350. I was like, $350? And I started looking at it, and it had a chip on it. And on top of having a chip, it had a liquid level. To where I guess if you were trying to adjust the light, you can see where the bubble was. And Mercedes had basically taken a headlight and baked all sorts of kind of features into it. And because of that, you were basically buying a computer with a light attached to it. Howdy. And that cost $300. In today's money, it would probably be about $500. No, I'm sorry, in today's money, it would be about $700. Yeah, it would be a $700, because everything's pretty much doubled. That would be in a $700 headlight. Although I could be wrong about that, because when it comes to electronics, the more you manufacture something, the cheaper it gets. So it could be that they get like the chips got cheaper, the software pretty much stayed the same, because you don't need to really change the software for a headlight. And maybe now it costs $150. I think more local people are starting to discover my YouTube channel. I think that might be what's happening. I don't know. All I know is I keep expecting somebody to act a fool today, and nobody's been acting the fool. Maybe they're just tired. As I'm sitting here talking, the ozone level is at 100. Now, the gauge says that it's in the yellow, but it's in the orange. And all week I've been breathing this. And it wears me out. But this week, if you went to the ER, this week you're trying to figure out why the hospitals are so busy, you're gonna have an uptick in cases of asthma. Anybody with COPD is gonna struggle with this. Anybody who has like heart failure is gonna be struggling with this. Obesity, you're gonna be struggling. You may have episodes, and it's been like this all week. Monday was orange, Tuesday was orange. I don't know what happened on Wednesday, because I was out doing that thing that I haven't posted yet. Thursday was hot, it was in the high, and then here we are today. It's been orange all week. We're at the beginning of October. Autumn started a week ago, and we keep having hot days, and not only hot days, but highly polluted days with ozone. Well, it looks like we got a new car that'll probably sit here for a week. That's the other thing that started to happen, is all the junk cars, and there's more junk cars showing up now. Yesterday I had a bunch of them on Community. So I guess all these dudes are trying to auction off these vehicles. I mean, everything about this is wrong. Dude's parked wrong. What's going on with this? I guess they're waiting on somebody. Okay. Weird. I guess they're waiting on somebody. She's parked in the wrong direction. He's parked right. They look tired. Everybody looks tired. That's really what it is, man. Everybody's tired. Why am I not tired? I am. I had 5 hours of sleep on one day. That reminds me. I think the oh yeah, I keep wanting to get a picture of this because they need to fix this. I have no reason to go down Hallwick. But yeah, my tired, yeah, it was 5 hours of sleep one day. That was 5 hours of sleep 2 days in a row. Today I've had plenty of sleep. Well, I say plenty, but these days all I can seem to muster is 7 hours. And there's some people out there talking about 7. I dream, I pray for days like that. For all you out there only getting about 3 hours of sleep a night or less. Okay, it's been a rough week. It hadn't been too rough. People are still drinking Canadian whiskey. Canadian rye whiskey. They left a corner. I guess they weren't complete alcoholics where they're licking the bottle clean. So there's no stop sign here. Oh, since they left their cans out, convenient for me to dump that bottle in. I'll help them bring it in. Unless this is not their cans. This is not their cans. These are not their cans. See, I can't speak English. I can't speak any language. I am a slapdash mess of just... I get it out there. What do they say in Yiddish? Ishkababble.